was that?
So a friend of mine invited me to a rock concert the other day, and I think I've always been too old and nerdy to go to rock concerts, but it did remind me to tell you guys about the story of my first ever rock concert back in New Zealand when I was about 15 years old. The rock concert was Twisted Sister, and Twisted Sister, I think, were well past their prime by the time they made it to New Zealand, so the concert was pretty small. But I went along to this concert with my friends Clayton and Chris. Here's a picture of Clayton, Chris and myself. And I think it was my mother that encouraged me to go to this rock concert because, well, I was always in trouble with cars and motorcycles. I was actually a pretty nerdy kid. I was always working on programming my programmable calculator. And she'd gone to rock concerts when she was my age. She went to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. I think she thought it was time that I went to a rock concert. So anyway, we go along to this rock concert, and the first thing I noticed when we get to the rock concert is that there is an unofficial uniform at Twisted Sister concerts that I was completely unaware of. No one told me, and that uniform is a black t-shirt with a rock band across it, you know, like Led Zeppelin or any of the big rock bands or heavy metal bands. You had a black t-shirt and perhaps black jeans or blue jeans. And this being the late 80s, I was still wearing very bright coloured, pastel coloured clothing, and so I turned up to the rock concert in bright clothing and felt very out of place because I was the only person there without a black t-shirt with, you know, ZZ Top or, you know, Led Zeppelin or something like that across it. But that's okay, I can mix in with the crowd and I can roll with the punches on that one. So we go into the concert, and the concert is at a location called the Logan Campbell Centre in Auckland, New Zealand. It's a small indoor arena. It wasn't a big concert, and so it was an indoor concert. And once the concert started, I was immediately struck by how loud it was. I had not expected a rock concert to be this loud, and I guess it was because Twisted Sister were a sort of a heavy metal band anyway. They were very loud, and it being indoors, it made it even louder. And you know, I was kind of a sensitive soul, and I've always had sensitive hearing, and so I was, oh my God, my ears are going to be bleeding from this. And so I immediately was not having fun and trying to figure out a way to make this a more comfortable experience. And I had some sweet papers in my, sweets in my pocket, and I unwrapped them and got the papers and then chewed on them and then stuck them in my ears to try and block out some of the sound. So now I was looking even more conspicuous. I had my bright pastel clothing on and I had sweet paper sticking out my ears. So I decided it was time to back off a bit. My friends Clayton and Chris went up the front where the action was, and they were shaking their head and doing all the stuff that people do at Twisted Sister concerts. You know, Twisted Sister, I think their big songs were Come On Feel the Noise and We're Not Gonna Take It. And they were up there, you know, and so I decided I would try and get to the back. And then I noticed there was an upstairs seating area in this arena. And there was no one up there, but I thought, oh, well, that would be a good place for me to go and hang out. So I found the stairs and I went up there and I sat down and started playing with my calculator watch and wondering how long this damn concert was going to last. Well, even though I wasn't having a good time, little was I to know that things were about to take a dramatic turn for the worst. Because mid-song, perhaps even mid-sentence, Dee Snider, the long-haired lead singer of Twisted Sister, stopped, pointed up to the seating area, and screamed into the microphone, "You! Sitting down! If you want to sit down, you go to a Spandau Ballet concert." Jesus! I was upstairs and I was imagining at this point that some mob of black t-shirt wearing Twisted Sister fans were making their way to beat the shit out of me right at that moment. So I got up and I got out. I left the concert immediately, fearing for my life. And so ended my first concert experience. It was far from ideal, but I got to experience and I got to learn a few things about concerts. And so I waited outside for my friends, and once the concert finished, Clayton and Chris came out. And Clayton walks up to me and he looks at me and he says, "That was you sitting upstairs, wasn't it, Nick?" And I was, And he turns away, shaking his head in disgust, and says, "Oh, You're such a loser.